Hello, in this video I'm going to show you how to do some things in Excel. I'm going to be working on one of the OCR sample papers for level 1, looking at this particular task. So it says here that we are in a firm of software developers and we're going to make a spreadsheet and a graph to analyse their products. First thing we need to do is make a new spreadsheet and set the page orientation to landscape. So let's have a go at that. I'm going to go over to Windows. And normally you might find a shortcut to Excel up in the quick launch area, or you might need to find it from the list at the side. Either way, open up Excel. When Excel opens, you've got a nice empty workbook to start on, so that bit's easy. And then it asks us to set it in layout, in landscape layout. So we're going to choose the page layout tab, the orientation button, and then click on landscape. Then we need to just start entering the data. Now it's very important when you're entering words and numbers into your Excel spreadsheet that you get things right. Capital letters have got to be correct, the spelling's got to be correct. If you make 4 accuracy errors, you will fail the exam. So another little tip is if you can get your mouse over to the column headings and you see a vertical line with 2 arrows like this, if you do a double click there, it'll just make sure that everything fits neatly into the columns. So there we go. That's the software targets part done. However, I'm sure you don't really want to watch me type in all of the information, so I've got one where I've entered that information in already. Okay, so as you notice, I've got my capital letters for the names of the programs that this company sells. I've got capital letters for the months, and I have checked that all my numbers are correct. So these are the things that you need to do to make sure you don't make accuracy errors. Okay, so let's have a look, see what we've got to do next. So it says we've got to make a header with our name, sensor number, and an automatic date. And after that, we need to save the file with the name software. So let's go back and do that. So the easiest way to get into the header is to click on this View tab. Go into Page Layout. Now you'll see there's nothing in the header at the moment, but we can easily add a header. So I'm going to put my name in. Then I'm going to write the sensor number, which is 30591. And then I'm going to use an automatic date. Now it's important not to just type the date in, because you will lose marks for that. If you look up here in the toolbar, you'll see there's a box that says add the current date. Click on that. This little information comes up, an ampersand and date in square brackets. You don't need to worry too much about that, because when you click down below, you'll see that it'll turn into today's date. Now, I probably don't want to stay in view, page layout view, because that's just a little bit annoying. So I'm going to click back into normal view. And then it told me that I need to save it as software. So I'm going to click Save As. And I'm going to just call it software. Again, you do lose marks if you don't do these things correctly as it's instructed you to do, so be accurate with the naming of your files. Okay, so let's see what the next part is. So now we need to find the sum, in other words, add up all of the numbers of these software packages of presentation software that we sold between January and June. So I'm going to show you 2 different ways to do that. So in the total, I can use the formula bar and I can type in equals and the word sum, which means adding everything together, open some brackets, and then I can see which cells I want. So I want to start at B4, then I put a colon in, and the last one that I want is the June figure, and that's in G4. And then I close my brackets and press enter. And as you can see, it's added those up for me and told me that it's 380. Well, that's one way of doing it. There is an easier way, which is to go into the formulas area and click this button, Auto Sum. And that will just try and work out which numbers you want to add up for you. As you can see, it's highlighted the ones I wanted and it's created the formula for me. So that's often an easier option. Now, the task asks me to replicate the formula. What that means is that I am going to click on this little square in the bottom corner. When I see that black cross like that, I'm going to drag that down and it's going to copy the same formula down to each of these cells. So for instance, if I click on that one there, you can see that now it's adding B9 to G9 because that's the correct row for the word processor. So that's called replicating a formula. So let's just go back and see if there's anything else we need to do. Now, it says I've got to insert a new column with the label price between total and sales, and I've got some more data that I need to add in there. Okay, so obviously there's more than one way of adding a column, but the best way really is to go into the column and right click the column after where you want the new column to be. Click insert, click entire column, and a new column will appear there. Now obviously then you would type in the information that you need there. I'm not going to type it all in now because that's quite time consuming, so I'm just going to paste that in. Okay. Now, it says here that we need another formula. This time we need to find out how much money we made by selling all of these packages for the presentation software in that range of months, and we need to multiply the total number that we sold by how much they cost by 1.05. So let's have a look and see how we would do that. So I click into the sales box there. I'm going to make a formula, and I want to multiply 380 by this number. So I use the asterisk, which is star or shift and 8 is how you find it on the keyboard, and that's what you use for multiplication in Excel. Then I'm going to click on the cell that I want to multiply it by, and then I'm going to put another asterisk in and put 1.05. So this is how much money I actually made from selling presentation software over the course of those months. And then once again, I'm going to replicate that formula. So I'm going to click on the little dark square at the bottom corner and copy that down to the whole of those rows. So let's see where we're up to. It says save the spreadsheet, keeping the site file name software, make sure the data is displayed in full, and print one copy. So that's all fairly straightforward. Let's just check. So yeah, I can see all my data. I'm not going to print it right now, but all I need to do is click this button here to save it, and it will just make sure that I've got the latest copy that I need. Okay, so that's actually the end of the first task. So I'm going to stop there.